This is Robert Goodman here on TikTok, keeping it real with my recovery. I'm so happy that you are part of my recovery. I'm so happy that you're here this morning. And today I want to talk about mistakes. Yes, mistakes. If you're breathing, you've made a mistake. We all make mistakes. Some of us make bigger mistakes than others, but we make mistakes. Doesn't matter how big the mistake is, we all make mistakes. That includes our parents. They're not perfect. They made mistakes. Ask yourself this. If you was faced with the situation they had to face, would you be able to handle it the way they did or better? With the circumstances and the resources they had at that particular time? You don't know. They did the best they could with the information they known about the situation and their resources. They did the best they could. But they make mistakes. We all make mistakes. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. So, are you going to hold them hostage for the mistake they made in the past? How much have they given of themselves to you? How much they have gave to you and not given to themselves? How many times have they stopped doing for themselves so they can do for you? But you still want to call them on their mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So, in cleaning the wreckage of your past in recovery is to understand that your parents did the best job they could under the circumstances that they had. But they made mistakes because they're human. I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we all make mistakes. How can you ask for forgiveness if you don't forgive others? A power greater than myself restored me to sanity, which I choose to call as God. And in the Bible, that book, it shares a point. The Word of God says, if you can't, if you can't forgive your brother you see, how can you ask me to forgive you? Meaning, I guess I'm looking at it as, if I can't forgive somebody else, how should I expect somebody to forgive me? When I close my eyes and I think about my time when I was addicted, the time that I was in my active addiction, all the mistakes I've made, all the times I asked for a power greater than myself to help me, and I just kept messing up, kept making the same mistakes, kept going down the same rabbit hole, kept getting high, kept doing the same thing for 40 years. And now that I have recovery, now that I have a life that I created, my past tell me I need to stay humble and to remember I'm an imperfect person and I'm going to make mistakes. So I better keep the focus on Robert. It also taught me to have humility because I make mistakes. So I know everybody else makes mistakes. But here's the thing, some people look at the mistake as a mistake, other people look at a mistake as a something else to get even or to hurt me. And here's the thing, how do you know which is which? In the program of recovery, it teaches me, Robert, don't worry about what another person think about you. Worry about what you think about yourself. Worry about what you're doing today to keep yourself clean and sober. What are you doing today to build a sound foundation for your family? What are you doing today to make your life better? They have the right to feel and think any way they choose to, but it should not affect me because it's not me. I should use the same zeal in the beginning of my recovery. When I kept putting one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, doing what I need to do, and started getting pride and feeling good about myself and my accomplishments for myself, making my life better. I wasn't concerned about nobody else's life. I was concerned about straightening up my mess, my life. Are you considering that for yours? See, I can't take care of Robert if I got my nose in everybody else's business. I can't take care of myself and my family if I got my nose in everybody else's business. Because if I got my nose in everybody's business, I'm not paying attention to my business, my life, and what I need to do for myself and my family. I want to share something that I hardly believe. This is my personal opinion, is that, ladies, don't tell your girlfriends your business, what goes on in your house. Do not tell your girlfriend what goes on in your house. You may talk down about the things your husband does not do for you or your boyfriend may not do for you that you wish he would do. They may be in a situation where they don't even get treated in the manner that you do. They may look at you as a complainer. You always complain about your husband. If you had a husband like mine, you wouldn't be acting that way. Then all of a sudden, they start to look at your husband in a different manner. You constantly complain about him. He's looking like the victim. Then in her mind, she feels that she's the savior. She's going to come and save him from you. And now you're to put somebody else in your business. It's going to be hard as hell to get them out because they have an ulterior motive. And the same thing deals with men too. Don't go tell your homies because the minute You act like you looking at somebody else, or you commenting about a female, how big her butt is, or how sexy she looks, or how you, if you wasn't married, you would get with her. All of a sudden, he said, "You got a good woman. My wife home don't do hardly nothing what your wife does, man. I wish I had her." You done started something. You now you done put this person in your business, and this man becomes the hunter of your woman. Relationships is just what it is. It's a relationship. You have a relationship with your husband, your boyfriend, whatever. It's y'all two. The relationship is y'all two. Nobody else's. Y'all's too. Y'all made a decision to be together. Y'all made a decision to love each other. Y'all made a decision to be there for each other. So the only problem solving situation should come from you two. The only problem solving situation comes from you two. But here's the thing: you have to listen to what your partner's sharing. You have to listen on their emotions and their feelings and what they're going through. You must listen to them. And when you listen to them, you understand how they feel, you understand how they think. Here's the thing: you both got enough ammunition to throw mud at each other for a whole entire year. Y'all could throw mud at each other all year long because y'all both have ammunition on the mistakes that you've made that they can throw it in your face. Mistakes. We're right back to mistakes. We're right back to mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's why there's a saying in the Bible: love covers a multitude of sin. Why? Because we make mistakes. Love covers that mistake. The point I'm trying to make is that everybody's subject to make a mistake. Every one of us. And we're going to make them. And since I know that I'm capable of making a mistake, then I need to keep my ears open, my eyes, and listen and learn so I make less mistakes. So I make less mistakes. I'm going to make them, but I want to make less mistakes. I want a good life for me and my wife. That means we got to work together. It's not one sided. We're a family, we're a team. We have to work together to build a good, sound foundation. It's not just on one person. The family is a team. Everybody in the family works for the betterment of the family: the children, the mother, and the father. And if everybody works together as a team, blessings will flow and doors will open up that you thought that would not open up because you're in direct line of living your best life. This is Robert Goodman here on TikTok, keeping it real. We're talking about mistakes today. I'm glad y'all came. How y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I woke up hungry as a fiddle, so I got up and I cooked me and my wife some breakfast. But I was hungry. Lord have mercy. I ain't never woke up like that in a long time. But but it cut my things down that I needed to do. but life is in session. I'm happy that you're a part of my recovery. I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that my stomach is full too. But let's get back to it. And we're talking about mistakes. You, you ever notice? Now, I know a lot of y'all be on TikTok, a lot of y'all be on YouTube, Facebook, well, no, Instagram, X. And have you ever been on any of these platforms and you seen a person get caught in a mistake and how they try to navigate out the mistake, or how some admit to the mistake, or some people just say, it wasn't me? How do you handle a mistake? Well, what I do is when I make a mistake, first thing I do is I forgive myself because I'm the one that made the mistake. I'll say something like, Rob, you don't pull that dumb stuff again, messed up again. So what can you do not to mess up anymore? How can we clear up this situation? How can we make it better? What are your options, Robert? That's when I give myself 110% attention to deal with the situation or the mistake. If I made it with someone, then I need to go and do what the program of recovery tells me, clean the wreckage of my past. That's some new stuff. But let me clean that wreckage. But by cleaning the wreckage of my past or the wreckage of the situation, some people, when you make a mistake, they don't look at it as a mistake. They look at it as a straight betrayal to them. And they'll never forgive you. All they want to do is get even with you, get revenge, or set you up. There's those that look at it and know and understand and believe that it was a mistake, forgive you, move on. And then there's some people that'll forgive you. That's what they say, but in their heart they don't. They say, but in their heart they don't. Mistakes. Mistakes is a heavy situation because we all make them. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we make silly mistakes. Sometimes we make crazy mistakes. Sometimes we make some bad decisions. But that's okay because that is a part of living on life's terms. That's a part of living life on life's terms. Because since we're imperfect people and we make mistakes, we must learn how to deal with situations and overcome situations that happen to us and to our loved ones. Mistakes. Do you know that it's easier to live in mistakes than correcting them? Because you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. You act like it didn't happen. that you was never part of the mistake. And you forget about it. It doesn't bother you, but it bothers everybody else. And they see how you, so they understand if you make a mistake, you're not going to own up to it. You're not going to better yourself. You're not going to correct yourself. You're not going to try to live your best life. You're just going to let it go and be comfortable where you are. I wasn't comfortable in my addiction for 40 years with the pain. But in recovery, I love recovery because I'm constantly climbing a mountain. I'm constantly having situations that I have to deal with, I have to work through to make my life better. I'm learning what Robert's capable of doing. I'm learning how Robert has humbled himself because he knows he's an imperfect person. He makes a lot of mistakes. So now he has to watch himself because my history shows that I've made a lot of mistakes in my addiction. Now I'm in recovery, so I'm not trying to make these mistakes anymore. I'm trying to live my best life. And how do I live my best life? Is by keeping the focus on myself and staying in the present. I got to stay in the present because if I got one foot in yesterday and one foot in tomorrow, I piss all over today, meaning I give it no attention. I'm not paying attention to nothing I doing today because I got my foot in the past pain. I got a foot in the future. I'm hoping on this to happen, and I piss all over today, meaning I don't do nothing about today. I don't better myself. I don't learn nothing. I'm just there, existing. Recovery is a beautiful thing. But as you be in recovery for longer periods of time, you get to see just how deep and how depth recovery is, how much depth it has, and how much you have to do, I have to do to live my best life. You know, when I got to a point in my recovery where I've cleaned the wreckage of my past, I mean, the things that was haunting me and kept me bound in my addiction, when that was released, I could literally see the pain of others on their face or the way they act that they was hurting. I believe that once we clear the wreckage of our past, once we keep the focus on ourselves, then we can see the gift that a power greater than ourselves given us for life. I believe each and every one of you have a gift that could be beneficial to so many people. But when we get bogged down what we did in our addiction, when we get bogged down on the mistakes we make, then we don't get to see the gift that each one of us have. Because each one of us has a gift to share, to make you blossom, to make you whole, to make you feel good about yourself, to give you the power to move mountains in situations because you have that gift. But you have to find your gift. Just like I said, you got to find your way to live your best life. I'm talking about the right way. I'm not talking about the undercover way. I'm not talking about con and manipulation. I'm talking about living life on life's terms, doing the next right thing. It's easy to do the wrong thing. It's so easy. But once we get caught in trouble, it's hard as hell to get out of it, isn't it? We know that. So, the point that I want to leave you with today is very simple. We all make mistakes. Your parents made mistakes, but they learned from their mistakes because you're here and breathing today. They learned from their mistakes because you're breathing and you're here today. So, if they can learn from their mistakes, Robert can learn from his mistakes. And by me learning from my mistakes and keeping the focus on myself, I have a peace that I hope each and every one of you have or will have. I sleep at night. I sleep. Oh, actually, my sleeping habit is a little off because doing what I do, pushing recovery to as much as I possibly can, keeps me very busy. So my sleep parents, parent, well, my sleep thing is like this: the times when I go to sleep, but I'm happy. I work. When I get tired, I go to sleep. You know, I'm gonna say this. It's been a pleasure to be a part of your recovery, and it's been my pleasure to look at some of y'all stuff, and it's uplifted my recovery. See, together we can overcome mistakes. Together we can overcome mistakes because we're all imperfect and we all make mistakes. So we're all the same. We're all the same. We don't get better unless we choose to want to work on ourselves. I can't get better if I don't do the work. If I point the finger at everybody else and what they should be doing, I'm not getting better. And it's not helping me. Like in recovery, you are the most important person to yourself. You. So if I'm the most important person to myself, I better take care of myself. Keep the focus on Robert. And the more time I spend helping myself live the best life, the better my life gets. The less time I put in doing for myself means that's the less that I'm moving forward. I'm stagnated. I'm not going nowhere. And here's another point. If I'm good and I make sure that I'm right, then I'm in a position to help others. I can't help nobody if I ain't helped myself first. I ain't gotten better in recovery if I didn't work the program. After having a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. All our affairs. All our affairs. So it's telling you it's a lifestyle. Recovery is a lifestyle. It's not a program. It's a lifestyle. And for me, the steps I use in recovery is the steps I live by, the way I do things. And it makes my life real simple. Real simple. Because recovery taught me, Robert, you could be your worst enemy. And you know how I know that? You stayed in addiction for 40 years. You kept yourself there. You lived in a hell of addiction. You did it to yourself. And until you decided to change your behavior, you stayed there. But you changed your behavior, you did the work, and after doing the work, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, you carry the message to other addicts and you practice these principles in all your affairs. And your life has gotten better. But here's the punchline. You know, this is the punchline. You know, I done did all this work in recovery, got all this, but these people I love, they still hate me. It's not your business. It's not your business. And that's the hardest pill to swallow. See, you went and said, listen, I messed up. I was trapped in addiction. Drugs had total control over me. I destroyed my life. I hurt you. I've done this to you. I took $1,500 from you. I have $500 right here, and I'm going to pay you in two more payments. And I'm sorry. I wish you forgive me, but I was stuck in my addiction. I had the disease of addiction, drugs. I had to have them. I was stuck on that cocaine. I'm sorry. You're just a weak person. You drugs didn't do that. You choose to do that to me. You hated me. Took my money. I'll never forgive you. They have that right. They have that right. See, recovery taught me is that Everybody has the right to feel and do what they choose because it's their life and their decisions. They have the right to make a good decision or a bad one. A good decision or a bad one. So, acceptance. This is the hard pill to swallow, but it's one that needs to be swallowed because when you accept their decision and respect it, then you've grown. You understand that you did the damage. You went and made amends, and they choose not to accept it, but you still paid them their money. That says a lot about your character. That says a lot about who you became. That tells a lot what you're trying to do today. See, all you're doing is cleaning up the past of the wreckage of your past. But you're living today, doing the next right thing, like the program of recovery has taught you. But it hurts. I want them to be in my life. They don't want to be in your life because they want to hold on to what you did. They rather hold on to what you did than forgive you and try to mend fences and be family again. So they're going to hold that against you. But that's okay. But don't let what they hold against you cause you to fall down a rabbit hole or to make your life bad. Because you've done the work from addiction to recovery, built the life, a brand new life. You did all this work. I mean, this stuff does not happen overnight. It takes years, it takes time to build a sound foundation in recovery. It takes time to build sound relationships. You've done that. That shows the character that you have. If they want to live in the past, they can live in the past. That's their choice. But it has nothing to do with Robert because Robert is living in today. I'm sorry what happened in the past. I wish I didn't do it. I wish I, but it is what it is. And there's nothing I can do about it. I can't change you from not hating me. So, did my part. The program of recovery teaches us to clean the wreckage of our own past, to clean our side of the street only. We're not obligated to clean nobody else's mess up but our own. Because when we clean up our own mess, we're working to better ourselves to live our best lives. And there's a good chance we won't make those same mistakes again because we made a conscious decision to change our behavior. We know in recovery that people don't stay in recovery unless they choose recovery. They have to make that choice. Just like your children has to make their choice to do the right thing and not get in trouble and to follow your rules and regulations that you set out for them for the benefit for their well-being. If a child chooses not to follow your instructions and do what they want to do, it's not your fault. It's because they choose to do what they do. And I know it hurts because us being parents, Grown people, we know where those trails lead. We know what kind of pain it's going to give them. And we don't want to see them fall victim to that type of mistake in their life at such a young age. So we try to be there for them, show them the way, protect them. But the end result is they have to make a decision to do the work and to do the next right thing. And we must understand that. I remember I seen a case where this child kept doing the wrong thing, and the parents would definitely they would spank them and punish them and everything. And the child would not change their behavior. They kept doing what they wanted to do. So eventually they got old enough and they ran away. And they ran away and they got caught up in the sex trafficking. And they lived in hell for years. But some kind of way they got away and they were brought back to their parents. And the first thing that came out of her mouth was, I wish I listened to you because I wouldn't have been in hell all this time. I say that to tell you is that every person has to make a decision to do the next right thing. Another person, we can try to manipulate, we could try to force a person to do something, but if they don't want to do it, it's not going to get done, no matter how old or how young they are. I've, I've heard you tell a child, well, I want you to go in the kitchen and clean them dishes. And then you be in the room and say, did you clean them dishes? Yeah, I cleaned them. They lying. They ain't clean up. Because they know you ain't coming out that bedroom no time soon. So they know they can get away with it for a while. And by that time, it might be bedtime, so I might get away with it the whole night and not worry about it until tomorrow. But the point is, they made a choice to lie because they didn't want to do it. So that is an example of saying that people can change when they change their behavior. So, in closing, remember this: we all make mistakes, all of us. That means that we're all imperfect people. So, to protect ourselves, one, we keep our business close to the vest. If you're husband and wife, you keep your business, your family business, to the family, to y'all two. Y'all decided to be with each other. Y'all just said you love each other. So what goes on in that house between y'all two is private. That's y'all's business. But if you want to bring in your girlfriend or your homie, then you're putting them in your private business. Like my great grandfather would say, when you bring people, the outside people into your business, it's like putting them people in your bed, butt naked, because they're entitled to everything that you got, because you put them in your business. That's just the way he believes. But I understand what he means. I understand. He's saying keep people out of your personal business. And husbands, when your wife is expressing herself, listen. Wives, when your husband is expressing himself, listen. You know what? And this is what I found for myself. When a situation happens and it hits me emotionally, I may say something crazy about the situation because it affected me emotionally. But that's not what I'm going to do, but I'm expressing my feelings. And when I hear myself say this crazy stuff, I'm not going to do that. But I think I'll do this. Sometimes we just need to hear ourselves express our feelings and emotions about a situation to fall us back into the same old road that we need to be. And a lot of times when I express my feelings and my wife hears it, it's like a connection. It's like someone's there understanding what I'm going through, which makes me be closer to her because I'm expressing my feelings. I'm not acting on them, but I'm expressing them. And the reason why I express them to her because she's willing to listen. So I hope y'all have a great day. I believe it's Tuesday, and I hope y'all stay clean and sober. I hope that any situation that comes up that you think about your choices, think it all the way through. As we say in recovery, play the whole tape through, play the good parts and the bad parts, and find out what's your best course of action for the situation. Because I don't know about you, but I'm still working on living my best life. And it takes work. So I wish y'all a great Tuesday. And remember, only you can live your best life if you keep the focus on yourself.